Good evening, everybody. My name is Kelly Webster, and today I chose to conduct my leadership selection paper on Eddie Vedder, who is the lead singer and frontman for the band Pearl Jam. He's been an inspiration to me personally, as for millions of other people all over the world today. Not only as a musician, but as an activist and a philanthropic level. I think that he speaks for the things that I value, which is human rights and the environment. And so that is why I'm doing my presentation on him today. I love that the fact that his ability to use his celebrity status as a musician and actor to ratchet that against more important and larger pictures in this world moving forward. So that being said, good evening, everybody. My name is Kelly Webster. As you can see on page 1 here of our PowerPoint, choosing Eddie Vedder to do my leadership selection paper on. He's been a huge inspiration for me personally, and I believe that he's also been that way and touched millions of lives as well. I think that he and Pearl Jam, his band, on a philanthropic level and activist for human rights and the environment is second to none, and I wanted to share that with you today. I began to love his words through the music that they played. I thought that he was great, and as soon as I was old enough to really understand those, there was a larger message involved with that. And I think that using an individual that uses his celebrity status to actually ratchet for a larger picture, I think is very, very commendable. And so at that point, he really got me. So we will begin. Now, we started with Modeling the Way, and obviously we talked a little bit about the lyrics, having something close to my heart. But, when we talk about modeling the way, we expect people to speak respectfully to us, but similarly, we speak respectfully to them back. Now, obviously Pearl Jam got an easy in through the music business, and they were lucky enough to start commanding millions of people's ears and eyes when they began. Their political stands of truth and convictions relaying to the people really, really bled through. Now, as noted in Songfacts, Eddie Vedder wrote the song Jeremy based on a true story of a gentleman by the name of Jeremy Wade Dell. You can see his yearbook picture in 1990. He was a 16-year-old boy in 1991 who killed himself in front of his English class at Richardson High School, January 8th, 1991. Now, as soon as Eddie Vedder found out about this, what had happened, and that he was bullied and tormented through school, he directly went right into the recording studio and wrote the song to try and open the eyes and inspire people for a positive message, not only for children, but parents similarly as well, to try and stunt this mishap that has been occurring. And, after it hit the top 40 list in 1991, the band searched for even more children's support and emphasized the importance of Future itself. Now, I think that as a band and as a person such as Eddie Vedder to bring this in at such an early time, I know that today bullying is very prevalent, and we've made that completely transparent in the classrooms. Well, back then it was not so much so in my days growing up, but they were one of the forefathers to actually come forth and speak their voice on that. Now, he's a proud sponsor of the Bridge School Foundation as well, which ensures that children with speech impediments and physical impairments can still achieve their full participation within their communities so that they still feel like everybody else. I think that that's very important, especially for people that they don't know, and they still support that action. Now, he's also taken the model way. He has also initiated Every Mother Counts, and is an advocate for that and mobilization campaign to increase education and support maternal and children health. Now, he was born as a son from a single parent, and he knows that how crucial the support of a mother is as they're growing up, or just the support that a mother needs when she's alone and pregnant. So I found that modeling the way in the beginning. Now, we go to the next views, and we're talking about inspirational movements. Now, obviously, we're inspiring a vision here, and by the early 2000s, Pearl Jam was already a cornerstone of most music on and off the radio. They were huge, still are today. And in 2006, him and his bandmates created the Vitalogy Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization to support programs in the field of community programs that are focused on the community health, support programs such as poverty and the environment itself. That also entails education and social change itself. So we're kind of falling a little bit into challenging the process as well, but the list that you see here today is a very small list of things that they are on every single donation and voice list for these proponents. So I think that, for these gentlemen to keep going out and look besides themselves for a larger picture in this world is very admirable. He also co-founded the EB Research, which is a very, very serious skin disease for children. It happens in about 300 children a year and takes a lot of money to try and help these little guys out. Now, through his voice, the foundations are able to sustain a substantial amount of growth in the progression as he continues to be a part of that today. Now, when I look back at my LPEI Student 360 percentile ranking, I was just a hair lower than what the average was. So for me in business, this is a very large part of what I'm looking for professionally when I go through that. Because at this point, I have a vision. I'm trying to share that, and I think that my persistence is falling somewhat short. So anyways, moving forward, we go next to challenging the process itself. We talked a little bit about that in inspiring the shared vision. Now, this one is very important because without change, without evolution, without these components of people wanting to do something like this, it just ends up a stagnant pond and nobody goes anywhere. Well, Eddie Vedder is a huge supporter for human rights and political voice education, so he supports the Rock the Vote. Now, the Rock the Vote is a nonprofit that's aimed towards educating young people so that by the time they are of age, they have a voice. They know exactly what they're looking for, and that's going to change everything moving forward. So, once again, we're reinvesting into the children itself. Additionally, the carbon portfolio strategy is reducing the carbon footprint. This is an investment that Eddie Vedder makes every single year so that people can study that and take tests, make risks, challenging the process, trying to make the world a better place, which includes the American Solar Energy Society and the Bonneville Environmental Foundation, which we all know is our water power, hydro, and Cascade Land Conservancy. So at this point, we're looking for a change, and he is willing to spend the money to take that risk to find out what we can do. So that is on their website itself, and we hope that by highlighting and creating the commons for these groups, we can advance preservation of existing ecosystems, restoration of degraded environments, and continue investment into clean renewable energy technologies. That is directly from their website by Eddie Vedder. Now, furthermore, by working with these groups, we're going to mitigate our own carbon emissions. And so for that, they have decided to move forward and try and get to zero emissions or as close as possible. By then, it goes into enabling others to act, and which I fall way below on, but I'm still working on all of that. And moving forward, I decided to bring both of them together. Enabling others to the heart is what I call it, because I believe If you use the other three effectively, the other two are going to come simultaneously. So through his many endeavors and using his face to raise money, I think that lives to be exemplary as a leader itself. Now, he put himself out there and he shared the vision on his soil and speaking for what is right, and he leads by example. Now, I want to leave you in closure with a little quote that he wrote. Do you force your kids to pay attention to what's going on, or do you let them live their lives outside of it? My hope is that my child is a strong activist. Now, I think that what he means by this is, we can touch bases on several different issues here, but he wants his children to know what's most important in life, and that's this world as a whole and human rights. And moving forward, we are looking for something bigger and better, and I think that he displays that in everything that he does. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening.